All right, hey everybody, I'm Sav Spooks, and this is Underground's Going Ghost. And tonight we have Kimberly Moxley with us, who's going to be talking a little bit about the history behind Old House Woods. Hey Kimberly, you with me? Hmm? Mm, Waiting for her to come on. So, Old House Woods is located in Diggs, Virginia, right off the coast of the Chesapeake Bay. And there have been sightings of all kinds of hauntings and so called ghost ships, um, cursed witches and soldiers and things in the woods. So try to get in touch with Kim. Hey Kim, you there? I think she's trying. Having some kind of technical difficulties. Give me a second. Anyway, so while we wait for Kim to get called in, so she's on, but we can't hear her. So let me figure out what's going on. Hello? Hello? Hey, Jerry, save the day. We can't hear Kim. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me? I can, yes. Maybe she's got bad internet. Yeah, she's got bad internet connection. That's possible. That's possible. Yeah. She was excited about being on the show, so I know that she's excited. I know she's here. I can see her on the dashboard, but I can't hear her. Tell her. Can you message her and tell her to call back in? Or do you want me to message her and tell her to call back in? Yeah, tell her to call back in. Maybe we can. There's got to be a bad connection. Hold on. Yeah, something's not going on right. Let's give us a second, everybody. We're sorry. We're gonna figure this out.
You're good. It's all good. You're lucky I was able to stay awake.
I know. Thank you, because we wouldn't know what to do.
You're good. I told her to hang back up, hang up all back up. Let's see what she says. I can't wait to be able to get back to Old Housewood. Okay, she's getting her husband's phone now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be a bad connection. So we're looking forward to when we can go back out to Old Housewood.
Yeah, I can't wait to get out there again. I was really trying to get some history out there so everybody can know what it's really about. And that's where Kim comes in, is
Yeah, really.
this expertise on the old house woods.
Yes, she would be the queen of Old Housewood. I think we should make her her own crown.
We should make her own shirt and everything.
I made mine today. Yep, I made mine today.
Hello,
Hello.
Kimberly. We've got her. Thank
There
you.
she is. All right.
So much better. Thank you so much, Jerry.
I'm looking for where you're at on the thingy. Send me a link so I can jump on there.
On the
You're
StreamYard.
on.
I'm on the
Okay, cool. All right. All right, I'm switching over to live then.
All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Oh, that's Jerry. You're welcome. Yes, super Jerry. Yes, I stayed awake for you. Okay, now let's Vanna do her show. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
You're welcome. All right, live here. Yes, I stayed awake for you. Okay, now let's Vanna do her show. Bye-bye now. Bye. Bye-bye. All right.
Awesome.
All right. Trying to see what kind of delay is here. Yeah, there's some delay. Okay, I'm going to turn that down and listen to you on the phone.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Miss Kimberly.
Sorry about last Friday. Didn't know I was going to come down with pneumonia.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, we, want you to be healthy. So that's more important. How are you feeling, by the way? Feeling better?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, but it's weird. It's just really weird. It's like I've got walking pneumonia, so it's like I don't have cold symptoms and things. I've just got this persistent, nasty little cough, and all of a sudden, bam, my breath got short. And I went in for x-rays, and they were like, oh, well, look, actually, I was in there for an SCT attack, and while I was in there, they said, we're going to take a chest x-ray. And I come back, and yeah, you got some little pneumonia down here, and I'm like, what?
That sucks. It's this weather, though. It's the weather. It's been hot. It's been cold, and just making everybody get sick.
Yeah, spring's on the way.
Yes, it is. I can't wait. I'm so tired of this cold weather.
Yeah, I bet you are. You're out in it all the time.
All the time. So tell us a little bit about the history behind Old House Woods.
Well, the history of Old House Woods is nothing more extravagant than anywhere else I think that you would find on, Chesapeake Bay. The only, I would say, odd thing, but at the time there was so much piracy going on here already that it wasn't anything that was out of the ordinary. But the fact that the people of Gloucester were, because that's what it was were driven to a point of in our area of starvation. We were the farthest thing away from what was considered the courthouse.
Mhm.
Um, and that trek was just really far. These people out here, they were starving. Um, Wartime. Um, we're talking American Revolution era. There was a lot of piracy in the area, and just so happens that here we have these lists of legends for this particular area, um, and it coincides with the story of Wolf Trap. Um,
What's the story of Wolf Trap?
Excuse me?
What's the story on Wolf Trap?
Wolf Trap was, that's a lighthouse that's out there now. Matter of fact, it's for sale right now. Wolf Trap was it was the name of a captain and or ship, Wolf, Captain Wolf. And he ran aground on a sandbar out there. And the watermen of the area went out to help him, thinking that, hey, maybe if we help him, he'll help us, give us money, or maybe he's got food on board or something. And they went out there and they floated his ship, got him up off the sandbar, and basically they were told that, it was part of their, their colonist duty, if you will, or, they were brushed aside as nothing, no help for you here. So somebody got the wise idea of, hey, these ships keep hitting that sandbar. So that's what they started doing. There's even a question of whether or not that they were baited into hitting the sandbar, like the story of Nag's Head in North Carolina,
mm-hmm.
Where they used to take a horse with a lantern and walk the beach with it.
Yep, that's where they got the name Nag's Head.
Ships, yeah, and they would see the light from the water and head towards the light and hit the sandbars or run into reefs or run into whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be pirated. They're stuck. Let's go get their crap and then, steal the boat if it's worth anything. If not, sink it. For years this was argued until here recently they discovered, the Queen Anne's Revenge.
Yeah.
Now they know, okay, they did do this. Well,
yeah, this was the coast for Blackbeard.
Google Maps, yes. If you look at Google Maps and if you look at some of the topography maps of the area, you can actually see shipwrecks all around Old House Woods, Haven Beach,
mm-hmm.
Gwyn's Island, which of course is where the pirate captain turned privateer stayed a pirate but kept it secret. Ha ha. His name skips my mind. Dennis and Jerry came out to do an investigation there last summer.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Keeble's home on Gwyn's Island.
Yes.
You look up the history of Captain Keeble and it all coincides, same timeline, same events.
And didn't he place his house on like the highest peak?
Did he what?
Didn't he build his house like on the highest point so that he could see everything?
Yeah, that was yeah. He built it on the highest point of Gwyn's Island, and you could oversee everything coming in and out of the Rappahannock or coming down Chesapeake from up Potomac.
So he had a good spot.
Everything from there, right? And Gwyn's Island was and later still remained a very active seaport. I mean, there are ballast stones all around Gwen's Island from where the ships offloaded their stones to take on cargo. So, this was all a very active seaport area. We built ships here. That's why Matthews County at one point ran out of wood. There wasn't a tree in the county to cut because we had cut everything up and made ships with them, which led to starvation, which led to, you see what I'm saying?
Yep. So you just had nothing. You all ran out of resources.
Basically. See what?
So it sounds like
out of resources. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And then you have your wartime effort. All these men, that were fighting age patriots and the like, left the area. They turned around and did it again during the Civil War, and the county was left up to women, children, and non-able-bodied men, or the wealthy. So you have quite a mix. I always refer back to L.B. Taylor's books on the stories of Old House Woods.
Yep.
Because that man did an incredible amount of research out here. I was fortunate enough to have met with him 3 times in my life. He used to come out to market days out here. And just wonderful, wonderful. The amount of stories and such that didn't make the cut for the book were just incredible. And he's like, when you have to make a choice between this or that, he said, I went ahead and went with the historical, the stories that were the oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that's where you end up with the Legends of Old House Woods.
Right. Those
are everything from the pirate ship that's seen. I've never seen it. I don't know anybody who has seen it. I've seen one individual come forward on a thread, probably 11 years ago, that said that he saw it as a kid. He fell asleep in his mom's car outside while she tended a patient. Mm-hmm. And when he woke up, he looked out over the swamp and he saw this big sailing ship. I can argue that. Given the background in parapsychology, I can say, that was a kid that was waking up in the midst of a fog,
mm-hmm.
And saw God knows what after he was dreaming. Children's minds are extremely impressionable, number one. And number two, they're incredibly imaginative.
Yes.
Because they've never been told no, or this doesn't exist. So one could say, well, that's why kids see ghosts. I won't say that. I'll say how they can imagine things very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where to credit that story. But I've heard, if you're laying out on the beach, you can see it actually come up out of the water. I've heard all kinds of stories. Another old story is, of course, with the treasure. Now, you have to ask yourself, what is the treasure? That's the other thing. Because there are several different treasure stories about Old House Woods. One, of course, is like I said, with robbing ships off the sandbar.
Yeah.
What kind of treasures? Well, at the time when everybody's starving and all of this sort of thing, food, alcohol, whiskey,
mm-hmm.
liquor, gunpowder, these sort of things were more important, I would say, readily usable than something like gold.
Right. In that time.
There's a story about a British royalty who sent his ship ahead with all of his stuff to Jamestown. And they got nervous with all the pirates around. Um, so instead of, they panicked, and instead of turning the stuff over to pirates and that sort of thing, they packed the cannons full of all of the gold and this sort of thing and offloaded the cannons. Now they claim that that was right off of Haven Beach, or between Haven and New Point. Okay, um, but that's one. They claim those cannons are out there somewhere.
And can you go looking for this treasure? How prohibited is that? This treasure, can you go looking for it? How prohibited is that?
Oh no, it's very prohibited. You can search the beach all you want, but that area of digs, that's all private property. And I have an understanding that I don't do treasure hunting. I don't. If it's out there, we'll come across it eventually. If it's not, that's not my expertise. I don't want to get involved in treasure hunting.
Right.
Because I've seen a lot of stuff go really, really bad as soon as something of monetarily value, if you will, appears on the scene.
Right.
People go money crazy. Then you got digging in private property all hours of the night.
Yep.
Somebody finds gold, and it's like, wait a minute, that was on my property. And then next thing you know, the state steps in.
Yep.
And
it's just best not to go that route.
Historians, correct. And it's actually a very crappy thing to do to somebody, to trespass on their property and treasure hunt.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I won't even do that.
That's basically
poor,
walking on somebody's property and just robbing them, just stealing from them personally.
Yeah, that's bad form. I don't believe in that. Now, if I find it on your property and I come and tell you, hey, I found this on your property, that's different. But that's not somebody on purpose going out there to dig to find stuff, dig everything up, and then it causes chaos. It really does. People get money hungry. They get gold fever and pirate treasure, and everybody's brain goes, yeah. And you end up really ruining what's an incredible paranormal laboratory.
Correct. So another question that I had was y'all did a thing on Travel Channel, and how accurate was that? Was that any kind of history behind that at all? What did the last colony have anything to do with Matthews County out there?
No, I don't believe it does. I haven't seen any historical evidence that would lead me to believe that it was. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did some sort of DNA analysis in people of Ocracoke, Carolina. And they claimed that what happened is exactly what we thought happened. They melded in with the local Indian tribes.
So there was Indian tribes out in Old House Woods.
Oh, most definitely. This is all Powhatan's territory. This is all Algonquin. What are they called? Mattaponi, Pamunkey. The multiple different types of tribes in this area, all under Powhatan. Yeah, this was all his area. There are ghosts are Native Americans. Um, Matter of fact, what I'm trying to do right now is when we go down, like when you come down and we do EVP sessions or let a recorder just run, I'm trying to get um, a recording again of what sounds like language down there. Sounds like people are talking, but they're using a foreign language, and I can't identify it. Kevin had a recording of it one time that we ended up passing it around to a few people at VCU, and then some people at some audio technicians at Christopher Newport to try and figure out exactly what this is. He even sent it to a linguist, and no one could come up with a decipherable language that this was, but the linguist said it is a language because of the rise and fall intonation, the repetition of certain sounds. It is a language, but he doesn't know what. Well, they're looking for the lost language of the tribes that were out here.
Okay.
So if I can get it on tape, if I can get it on tape, if I can get it on digital again of that language, whatever that is, I plan on, turning that over to the guy that's working with the Mattapani and Pamunkey reservations, because that's what they're doing. Is they're trying to find a lost language.
And that would connect with the lost tribes, right? The lost colonists?
No, only in that it was all under Powhatan's territory.
Just the same.
There was no reason for them to come up here.
Okay, so it's just basically the same Native Americans.
Yeah, same Native American type of tribes. Yeah, these were all Jamestown, Yorktown, all these different area tribes. They're all under the same chief, I guess you would say at the time, which was Powhatan. I think, but yeah, that's a lot of what you're seeing in spiritual activity down there. The other side of that is pirates. Are there pirate ghosts down there? Now, I do know this. If you want to stir up activity in Old House Woods, go down there, kick up the lawn chair, sit down with some friends, and start talking about the old legends of Old House Woods. Theorize about, what's your theory on the treasure? What's your theory about this sort of thing? And by, activity will pick up.
So how much?
That's like that's.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So something's listening to the stories of piracy.
Maybe they want to make sure you get the right story.
Right. And there's other strange stories of just very weird things, like, a woman going out and putting the horses away and then finding out that they were never put away, which made no sense. Floating caskets with no pallbearers foretelling the death of somebody in that field across from the stop sign.
Right.
And then you have your demon dog stories, your devil dog.
Is it the Franny house that the Old House Woods is called? That's based on?
Yeah, what kills me is the dog thing with it had red eyes. Well, if it's a headless dog,
how does it have eyes?
Why has it got red eyes? And it's like Kevin would say, well, if it's a headless dog, how the hell is it barking at you? So, the weird things like that. But yeah, 3 times over the last year, I've heard certain individuals claim that that there's a witch in Old House Woods. That they either spoke to the witch or they saw the witch.
Yeah, we did an investigation out there,
I
and
have,
somebody said that they felt like there was a witch talking to them.
yeah, they say that there's the witch of the Old House Woods, and if you see her green light glowing, then
Mhm.
you know you've outstayed your welcome. Um, I don't know where that story would have come from. Um, I don't know of any witches that live down there in that area. True witches, not want to be practitioner witches. I don't know if any that live down in that area or did.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. Could she have been brought there by somebody else? Did she? There's no telling.
Right.
I don't see any proof. I honestly don't see any proof of it. And that's something that I can't say is that I found legitimate. Because in all honesty, we all joke about the witch of Old House with.
Right.
You know, um, because it is one of the stories only, in that there's a green light. There's no stories that are doing anything to you. It's just, ooh, it's a witch, scary, scary.
Right.
And then as I noticed, um, researching the stories and then listening to, oh gosh, hundreds of local personal stories, you quickly start to realize, okay, wait a minute. Somewhere along here, we went from these old spooky legend stories.
Mhm.
We've made a jump to some weird happenings, and how they start over time to correlate with current horror movies. Now that's a psychology. That has nothing to do with paranormal
Or the background of Old House Woods.
or the background of Old House with. This is, oh gosh, the story of the little girl in a white dress. It always starts out as the little girl in a white dress, and then it's the little girl in a white dress with long black hair that hangs down in her face. Okay, so somebody has seen
The Ring.
has seen The Ring.
Yeah,
What
they.
you know what I'm saying? Or The Grudge.
It's easy for
And
people's
then it turns
imaginations to
into,
run when it comes down to a haunted location. That's why, we like to
yeah,
get the history and the facts behind the location and out there to
yeah,
people so they
yeah.
know.
Right, and there is some little girl that's out there. I don't know who she is or how she ties to the Old House Woods yet. I'm still working on all of that. But there is a little girl ghost that's down there. And I would have to say that she's probably about 8, 7, 7 or 8. And she's usually wearing a yellow dress
Mhm.
with a blue ribbon around her waist and a blue ribbon in her hair.
So,
Now, why is she down there? Who is she? I don't know.
can we place her?
But she loves Janet.
Can we place her image in what she's wearing on a timeline, like on a base of like what time she may be from?
Yeah. And to be quite honest, it's. I'm looking at the possibility of probably late 1800s, mid 1800s.
Hmm.
It's not a very fancy dress at all. But it is yellow, and there's lace around the collar. I've seen her very vividly. And sometimes you don't even see her. You just feel her. You know she's there. Um, and Janet actually, she loves Janet to death. And every time Janet goes down there with us, she tries to help her cross over.
Mhm.
But apparently we haven't figured it out exactly what's going on, but it's like she's being prevented. We don't know by what, but, that all remains to be seen. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of stories about that sort of thing. Now, on the adjacent beach to that one, um, instead of turning left and coming down to Old House Woods, you take a right and go out to the other beach.
Mhm.
We call it Old Haven and New Haven. Um, there, people have seen stories of what looks to be like French soldiers marching down the beach there. They've got the big hats with the large plumes.
Mhm.
Um, William Patterson told me about those. And yeah, and strange things in the marshes. They claim you see soldiers or you see people moving in the marshes.
So would that
But
be
we see that down
Revolutionary
Old House
War
Woods too.
if it's French soldiers being seen?
Yeah, French soldiers. And that beach, that connects to Old House Woods. It's just, not even as if you walk the beach. I mean, it's right there. It's all the same area.
So it's seen Civil
Kevin,
War, Revolutionary. It's got your Native
yes,
Americans, piracy.
yes, yes. Kevin actually stood in the road one night and started speaking French.
Mhm.
Because we were like, okay, well, hey, okay, let's. It was after we were just talking about the French franc that I found, or quarter franc, and he started talking in French, speaking French, and he was offering a cigarette, and he lit the cigarette and offered the cigarette and held it out, and the cigarette smoked itself.
How does that happen?
And right, how does that happen? I don't know.
So Old House Woods is swirling with all kinds of energy from different times and eras.
All kinds, yes. That's why I say it's a wonderful lab. You find if you're a true investigator and you're really into trying to figure out just exactly what this Paris soup is, um, you want to know what is that entity that you captured, whether it be film or audio or sensory perception.
Mhm.
Who are they? What are they? And like I said, there's everything down there that goes way back. Um, the other thing is the amount of Indian arrowheads that are found right off the beach there down Old House Woods. That whole beach is just loaded with Indian arrowheads. Loaded. So, yeah, you tell me.
Yeah.
you,
You-
there's everything down there.
I, I mean, I believe it. I've been there. When we've done investigations down there, underground paranormal has done investigations down there, and
yeah,
I've seen Indians crouching in the woods. I've seen it with my eyes. I couldn't explain, but
yeah.
you can see
And
it.
sometimes, right, and sometimes their behavior is really strange. It's classic uh, para abnormality, if you will. Sometimes you go and what you're looking at doesn't have any idea you're even there.
Yeah,
It'll
because they
walk
work on
right
a
by
total
you,
different
walk
time.
right through you, right. And then you go down there and they act like they're just as interested in you as you are of them.
Oh yeah,
They'll
they'll
follow.
surround you. We
You know?
we were standing on the
Yeah.
road and we heard a psst, psst, hey, come here, coming from the woods, and we're on the road, and there's nobody
You
out
know?
there,
Yeah,
just
and
us.
that's
And you hear it with
that's
your own
something else
ears,
you
like
ever
not
look
on
out
any
with.
equipment, just with your ears, you could hear
Yeah.
it.
Yes, that's something else that we discovered down there, and that's not an uncommon uh, that's not an uncommon happening. Kevin, uh, oh gosh, Kevin has had that happen. There's another fellow, Matt, had that happen while he was down there. My friend, oh, what was his name? Michaela. It's something beckoning you into those woods.
Mhm.
And if you go there long enough, they'll call you by name. So if you haven't had that happen yet, be ready because it will happen. They call Jerry by name. They call Janet by name.
They've
They
called out
call me
Dennis.
by name.
I don't think Dennis has Dennis been to
Yeah,
Old House?
they call Dennis. Yeah. So yeah, they will. It's intelligent, whatever it is.
Mhm.
It's intelligent, and I'm just so picky and so protected of my little old house Woodby down there.
Mhm.
Because I know what we went through when we first started all of this.
Mhm.
I know how apprehensive and freaked out property owners were, you know, because when we were going down there, there were some, my God, these people didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
They just tromped off into your woods and, or walking up in people's yards. And it's like, wait a minute, y'all.
Yeah,
And I remember
there's
telling
gotta
Kevin
be
when we first,
boundaries. You have to respect the location for one that you're investigating.
right, well, correct. But that's the problem is there aren't a whole lot of people who are. And especially, 12 years ago, there, everybody was so gung ho, so hot, and you know what,
Catch a
catch that
ghost.
next ghost.
Yeah.
That bam, when those military boys came down here, they didn't think twice, jumping out the truck and off into the woods they went. And it was like, whoa, um, and I'm looking at Kevin like, do they know these people that own the property, or do they, and Kevin was like, I don't think they particularly care, and when we walked up on the last guy to go in the woods, he was fixing up parabolic mic. And he said,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're gonna hear some shit tonight." And I was like, "Okay." And boom, off in the woods they went. They were from the Navy.
So
And when they came back out running,
you're
jumped
you're
in the
gonna
truck, jumped in the back of the truck, and took off.
you're gonna start doing, or you have started doing, Old House Wood spirit walks.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So if anybody wants to investigate Old House Woods, the way to go about it would to be to get in touch with Kimberly Moxley and do a Old House Woods spirit walk.
Oh, absolutely. Join the page. We also do Old House Woods Haven Beach cleanup.
Mhm.
Where we walk the roads, we clean the ditches, and uh, take care of the trash on the beach. Usually after the weekends during the summer, it's
Right.
terrible. Um, but we do organized walks. This year, in April, we're going to have the first of our to kick off the season. We're going to do um, a dedication to Kevin Arthur Kierstead walk. Um, and have have that for April, and that kicks off. Then, of course, you all are coming out in May
Yes.
for Underground Paranormal, right?
Yep. Underground's going to do
Yep.
our
Y'all are
very
going to
first event at Old House Woods. So if anybody wants to get in contact
right.
with us, we're going to start an event page right after the Kevin's walk, and then y'all can, we're going to go from there. But yeah, Underground's going to do an event, our very first one at Old House Woods.
That'd be awesome. And yeah, and I also wanted to say, and I encourage people to do this, that if you're an investigator, or even if you're someone that just went down Old House Woods and happened to catch something, audio, video, if you have a story about your experience in Old House Woods, please, by all means, come forward on the page on the Old House Woods Legends. I can never say the whole thing. Um, but come to the Facebook and post it.
Mhm.
Post what you see. Post what you find, what you heard. Um, Maybe there's somebody on the page that you take a recording that you got and run it through some filters and produce a clear picture of what you're trying to say you heard on your recording.
Yeah.
Because that's how we do. We want community input. And I know in a lot of things it has been for me in doing a lot of the research on the area. You will run into things like family secrets and things that, people maybe don't really want to be let know.
Right.
And you gotta have enough common decency to know you don't talk about those things.
Right.
And you let it go.
Mhm.
You know, um, I look at it as does it pertain or not to my study and my experimentation going on in Old House Woods? No. I keep going.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
fine,
so many, there's so much energy in Old House Woods and so many other spirits from different eras and time that you don't have to focus on anybody's personal experience out there.
at all, at all. You know, speaking of personal experiences, it was funny because I remember telling Jerry before the first time we went down there, that one of the biggest problems Kevin and I ran into early was personal stories versus probability, fact, and bullshit. And it's really hard to do that. But as I explained to Jerry, I said, you're going to find when you get down there, you're going to figure out exactly what's going on around you. And you're automatically going to know when your ears hear bullshit about Old House Woods.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Yeah, when you go to Old House
Now,
Woods
lo
and
and
you
behold,
experience it for yourself, you know exactly
right, if somebody,
what's out there.
right, if somebody tells you, oh, I was sitting down here in the parking lot and I watched a glowing green skeleton come walking up behind the dumpsters with a lantern, uh, and he made the whole area glow green. Um, I, I got to scream bullshit. Now, if you tell me you're out on the road and you were approached by the spirit of a redcoat asking about the King's Highway, that's actually been documented. I might want to look into that.
Right.
But don't tell me about skeletals glowing green walking up the beach coming beside the Lord have mercy.
Right.
I get a lot of crap.
So,
But yeah, you quickly learn to decipher. Jerry learned while she was down there. Um, she's done a few experiments of her own to find out if whatever's down there, the ghosts or spirits, will they follow you from one location to the next. Now, I of course, I said yes, of course they would. They're all linked. They're
mhm.
not tied in to a certain, like a little 6-foot area.
Right.
If you They're anywhere in Old Housewood.
Right.
And yeah, she actually carried out an experimentation and found that yes, they are. They will follow. You can talk to Spirit Bob at the beach and then talk to Spirit Bob down in front of Cow Hole.
Yeah.
And then talk to Bob again at the stop sign. Um, there's a lot of stuff like that goes on. Rock throwing.
Yes. When we were down there last time we were down there, Bonnie had a rock thrown at her. And
yeah.
So there's a lot of experience. There's a lot of energy and a lot of paranormal energy just swirling around Old House Woods.
Yeah. And it's not just it's not just people spirit activity. There's animal spirits down there too. And that night that Kevin and I were walking, and there was some kind of a huge mass that passed in front of us, and I could smell. I don't know how to any other way to put it other than I could smell a cow.
And there's no cows around there.
Like a real musky bullshit cow smell that just passed right in front of us. It was huge, and I thought it was we were being passed by a cow. And at the same time, these two things appeared in the road and ran up two trees. And I thought, whoa, raccoons is what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because what else is going to run across? These little black blobs run up these two pine trees and then jump into a black cloud. And then it dissipates. What the hell was that? That wasn't a raccoon.
Yeah, there's a lot of unexplainable things that just go on down there. A lot.
Yeah, right. And just totally unexplainable.
But I gotta cut you off because we're about to run out of time. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes. So
3 minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna
So yeah, come down to kick off the season in April with the Kevin Kierstead Spirit Walk.
Yep.
And then come on back down in May, and join Savannah with Underground Paranormal.
Yep.
And they have their Spirit Walk in their investigation. So sure, come on down.
Yeah, let's do it the right way. You can come down to Old House. There's tons of experience and lots of energy down at Old House, and there's more than one location. So you can definitely come down.
Like I said, I can show y'all how to stir up what and where. I mean, the data that we got over just, the 5 years, granted it's almost 3,000, not 3,000 hours down there. The data that we collected, what correlates to what, I can tell you what to do and where to get a reaction from something.
Yep.
And it's really, really neat. My next thing I want to look into down there is ley lines. So if anyone knows anything about ley lines,
I've got a teammate that knows a little bit about ley lines. I'm learning about it myself too. So maybe we'll have another show with you soon, and maybe we can talk about ley lines after we learn a little bit about them.
That would be awesome.
Because I know that the ley lines down that way in the Crawford Road, all that, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really interested, especially with what I'm seeing that they're pulling out of the ground over in India, and the way they're having to completely re-look at the temples in Cambodia. I want to see something about ley lines.
All right.
And I haven't had the time to dig into it. So.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to come to the Kevin Walk, contact Kimberly Moxly in April. She's going to do her first kickoff of the Spirit Walks of Old House Woods, and Underground's gonna do their kickoff on events for our very first events down in Old House Woods in May, and we will post event pages for that too. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Kimberly, for joining us.
Thanks, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. It's been fun.
Right on. Keep me in the blessing.
Will do. Bye.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right. Thanks, guys, for being live with us. And catch us next Friday for Underground's Going Ghost.